What's up, guys? We are back with another episode of Let's Talk Snowboarding, presented by Mountain Vibes. And today we have Emma Hall in the booth, and we are so stoked because Emma is a local legend. She is only, how old are you now?
I'm 19.
So she's 19, killing things, and she was so gracious to come down from Sandpoint today to Coeur d'Alene and spend a little time with us. Emma, how you doing?
So far, so good. I'm excited to be here.
Sweet. Okay, cool. So let's get into it a little bit. So how's your summer been? What's been going on this summer?
So far, it's been pretty good. I did break my back, which was kind of a bummer, but just kind of coming back from that. But yeah.
How'd you do that?
I just got a little excited. I was up at Mount Hood for solstice, and they usually for solstice, like they have like a big group of people hike up. It's like the longest day of summer, and we'll all hike up to like the center of Mount Hood, and they build this like big kicker. Like there was 2 this year, and I hit like the kind of like not smaller. It was just a smaller one, and like most of the snowboarders were hitting the smaller one, but it was still pretty decently sized, and you could go pretty big, and sometimes I just get too excited and I go too fast, and I went to do like a front 5 and I started to over rotate into 7, and I haven't really landed a 7 before, so I kind of just panicked, so I opened up, and then like I was still like probably like 10-15 feet in the air, and I just kind of like landed on my lower back, and it compressed and just kind of nastiness, but it was just my T9 and it wasn't too bad. Like definitely like a fast recovery for that kind of an injury.
Okay.
So
how long? Like you're feeling good now. How long was that recovery?
It was about like 6 weeks until I could like skate again, and then it's still like it hurts when I twist. Like I'm about like 9 weeks in now.
Okay.
Like it's gonna hurt for a little while. Like, but it definitely I got lucky. Like really really lucky, which I'm really grateful for. So.
Yeah. All right. So you mentioned solstice. Let's talk about solstice. Mount Hood, like OG right here. That's where I got into snowboarding, was up at Timberline. So were you down at Hood to kind of do camps down there and stuff, or were you just kind of going for the vibe?
I just went for solstice. Like we had like a big group. We actually stopped in Seattle first, and we did like some skating in Seattle, and then we kind of like went down the coast a ways, and yeah. So it was just for the vibes kind of, and like
cool.
I always try to make it out to Hood during the summer, just because like then I can get like scratch my snowboard itch every so often, so just so I can make it through summer until winter.
Okay.
But yeah.
And had you ever been to the solstice before?
Yeah, like the year like before too, I did solstice, and it was really fun, but I really regretted, like I'm glad that I tried to like actually do some tricks on the jump, because like the year before I just kind of like straight aired it, and I just kind of like I wanted to try some stuff, so I'm glad that I tried.
Nice. Heck yeah, that's awesome. So let's talk about what else has been going on. You went down to Hood. What have you been doing? We were talking before, we started, and you've been working at a local staple in Sandpoint, Joel's.
Yeah.
How's that been going?
So far, so good. Love it there. Love the people. They're all super friendly. Love it. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. So where'd you grow up?
So I grew up in Sandpoint, Idaho, riding Schwitzer, all that good stuff. I was originally born in Wisconsin, but I moved to Sandpoint when I was 3. So
okay, yeah. Awesome. And so we know. So what was does your dad ever talk about like the driving force to kind of move to an unknown place like Sandpoint from?
Honestly, my mom was from Sandpoint.
Okay.
So like my dad, like he visited here. Like they knew that they wanted to move out here, but like we had to go live with the majority of my family is in Wisconsin, so we kind of were living up there, but my mom was kind of miserable. My dad missed snowboarding, so we kind of just got like moved over here because it just worked out better.
Okay, nice. And so like what's your first memory of going snowboarding? Did you start out on a board, or did you start off on skis?
Oh, I started off on a board. My dad would never. My dad could never put me on skis. But yeah, no, I'd say it's like probably on the bunny hill. Actually, no, magic carpet. I would just kind of like I would go like as fast as I could. My dad would like have to run after me, because you know how like it's kind of hard to like snowboard and like teach a kid how to snowboard as well. So he'd just kind of like walk down with me. But I don't know, I was a big falling leaf gal. I refused
Okay.
to turn. For probably the first 3 years I was on a snowboard. Don't know why. I just really I like to go straight and
Yeah.
go heel side, but yeah, that's probably like the earliest memory I have.
Earliest memory. Okay,
Yeah.
so and so that was back in the day when Schweitzer was kind of still more unknown. Let's talk about like you. So you came up, and did you just start off by like going in with your mom and dad up to the hill?
Yeah, mostly my dad. It was usually like Maddie was too little. Maddie was kind of like, I don't know. I was always like asking my dad to go snowboarding. Maddie was kind of more of the kid who was like persuaded to go with like hot chocolate and stuff. But yeah, no, I definitely was always going.
You know, you guys moved from Wisconsin out to Sandpoint, and we talked about like your first memory of like going up to the hill. So was it your mom or your dad that kind of took you up to the hill most of the time when you were growing up?
Definitely my dad.
Okay.
Like he would take me out of school on POW days. Like we were just always going up, and it was mostly just me and my dad until Maddie was a bit older. So
Okay.
yeah.
Nice. And so shout out to Maddie, shout out to your dad Adam.
Yeah.
Kind of you guys are well known in the Sandpoint community. You guys rip, all of you. And let's talk about you know, what were some of the programs that you were into growing up? Like did you start out by doing fanatics at a pretty young age?
Yeah, I did Fanatics. Matt and Marty were my coaches, so
Oh,
shout out to
okay.
them. Party Marty. But yeah, I did Fanatics mainly, and then I didn't really have a lot of coaching after that. Just kind of like went up and kind of hung out. And I did do a little program with Dash Camp for like the last year that I was in town.
Okay.
And then yeah,
Okay, so that was last year, right? Or 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Okay, so yeah, so lots of things happening. So Dash Camp, local Sandpoint legend, great snowboarder, helping out the younger homies, coaching them, and then also Marty and your dad have started a little thing together, as well as a few other people, the Snowboard Northwest. So that's really sick to see. That, you know, Schweitzer has kind of been more of a ski hill, in my opinion, for the longest time. I don't know if would you agree with that?
Definitely, yeah.
So what was that when you were young, and you're probably one of the first like little kid boarders, like did you ever have like any like kind of interesting experiences up on the hill, as far as like people yelling, telling you like, no, snowboarders can't be here and stuff like that?
Honestly, it was like mostly just like younger kids, and then like when I was getting older, like people were kind of rude sometimes. Like it was just like mostly like the SARS kids, and like
Yeah.
I don't know, they'd like all of the kids like my age would always make fun of me because I was always on a snowboard and I couldn't go quite as fast, and like I think it definitely, I'm like glad that people were like that because it definitely made me faster. I think growing up riding with skiers, like I didn't want to be left behind because they do leave you. They definitely do
Yeah.
leave you. But yeah, no. So it's I don't know. It definitely got some shit for being like the only snowboarder, and also like a lot of the times I was like the only girl. I don't know. I think that's just how Schweitzer is. But yeah.
Nice. So when you guys moved out to Idaho, let's talk about like kind of like, you know, you're only, you know, 3 years old, but you know, growing up, like what were some of the other things that you like to do? Because, you know, winter is only so long. What were some of your favorite fondest memories like growing up in the summers up here?
Growing up in the summers, I don't know. We kind of lived in the middle of nowhere. I would just kind of like, we had a trampoline, definitely did a lot of trampoline stuff. I played
Okay.
a lot of soccer. Nothing too crazy. We didn't really have a wake, but we did used to have like a fishing boat that we'd go like wakeboarding on, and
Okay.
like that. It definitely should not have been wakeboarding on it, but it was fun to try.
Yeah. Yeah. You ever do any fishing?
No, I've
Not
never
too
been
much?
a big fisher. No, I know a lot of people. Like a lot of my friends are fishers, but
Yeah.
not me.
Yeah. I just asked because that's something that I've got onto the last few years, is fly fishing. So
That's
yeah,
really
definitely.
big up here.
Sorry, we had to take a little bit of a break because it's hot in here.
It is very hot.
We had to run
yes.
the AC for a minute, and now it's feeling better. So
Yeah.
we're cooling off. So yeah, we were talking about So yeah, a little bit of like Joel's and everything that you're kind of doing. You've been skating a lot. How
Yes.
are you liking that new addition up at the skate park in Sandpoint?
It's great.
Yeah.
Like, so far, so good. I don't know, I've seen a lot of people are, like, progressing really fast now, too, because it, like, gave us, like, an aspect that the park was really missing.
Okay.
Which is really exciting. Some more, like, street style type stuff, which is really cool. It's cool to see.
Nice.
Yeah.
And are you what's so, you have your sister Maddie, and you guys are pretty well known in Sandpoint that you are I would say the top women's riders, the young up and comers. You guys go to all the competitions and stuff. So has Maddie been skating this summer with you much?
A little bit. Maddie's really, like, she's very busy because she's very much, like, school oriented. So she did oh my gosh, summer school this year, so she can get ahead, so she can do more comps and stuff this
Cool.
winter, just because the school kind of cracked down on, like, absences and stuff. So it's been
Okay.
kind of a struggle for her, and she's, like, very much, like, she's very intelligent, so she really wants to, like, pursue an education.
Yeah.
So she's kind of like, she can't go homeschooled because she really wants to pursue this education, but she also really wants to pursue snowboarding, so she's kind of trying to find the happy medium with that. But that's been her entire summer, is like school, and she's been working like crazy, and then she's also doing cross country, so yeah, like all of that. But we've been skating a little bit. I love skating with Maddie. It's so fun.
Yeah, definitely. Who are some of the other homies that have been out there? We know that Owen and Cade and those guys are hitting this park a lot.
Ripping. The Groms are getting crazy. It's insane. There's a lot of homies out there. I'd say like Skylar, just a bunch of people. Yeah.
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 So the scene is definitely alive and well in Sandpoint right now.
Definitely.
I would say, yeah.
It's definitely getting a bit crazier. It's cool to see all the Groms getting better.
What's it? So you've lived there pretty much your whole life. I like to ask a lot of people that have lived here their whole lives, like, what's it been like to see the growth? You say you stay up in Sandpoint pretty much. You don't come down to Coeur d'Alene too often, so we all know that Coeur d'Alene and Spokane are getting crazy. But what's it been like in Sandpoint? Have you seen a lot of more traffic and more people everywhere?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I live like across the Long Bridge, so like in Sandpoint we have like this one like mile long bridge that goes like in between Sandpoint and like Sagal, and it's so like the traffic every morning, like just trying to get to work or like go anywhere, it takes like probably 10 minutes longer than it normally would.
Okay.
Just with like the summer traffic, like it's kind of dying down a little bit now, but when the festival was happening, it was insane. Like I've never seen it like that. It's like bumper to bumper. It's crazy.
Yeah. So let's talk more about the Fanatics. You mentioned Marty and Matt. Those have been two mentors of mine ever since I moved here from Portland 7 years ago. Marty Andrews, check out his Let's Talk Snowboarding episode. I can't believe it was episode 23 or something like that. It was a lot of fun. And Matt Smart, I've always said that Marty and Matt are great instructors, but they have two completely opposite styles. What would you say? It's pretty interesting how you can learn from two different people in so many different ways.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Marty's definitely a bit more loose than Matt, but I think that Matt definitely taught me a lot of like the basics and stuff like that, and then I kind of moved up to Marty's class, which is a little bit more like advanced, and I think without them I would not be as good with like edge control and like more mindful about it. Like,
Yeah.
definitely helped out a lot. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, Marty's definitely a bit more chaotic though.
Yeah, Marty is the guy that you ride and then you talk about a lot of stuff on the chair.
Yeah.
And Matt is break down technicalities more so. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's super cool. So you said that you moved up. What age was it that you moved into that final group with Marty?
I'm not sure. I think probably about like 14,
Okay.
I think.
Okay, very cool. And then was that when you also started to compete a little bit more in the bank slaloms and the free riding?
A little bit. I never really did free ride until like the last 2 years, but with bank slaloms, yeah, definitely that was a unique world to like jump straight into.
Right.
For sure, it was a big learning curve at first. I'd
Yeah.
say.
So a reason why I kind of like found out about you is because everyone's kind of has always talked about the Hall sisters and Sandpoint, but mutual friend of ours, Kim Ewing,
Oh yeah.
who is out of Leavenworth, Washington. Mountain Vibes rider, has been since almost the beginning, and a G at the bank slalom and also in the park. Like, don't ever sleep on Kim, like doing anything that she wants to. But when did you first meet Kim? And have you do you stay in contact with her? Have you formed a little bit of a friendship with her? Because I remember you guys like seeing each other and being like, "Yo, what's up?"
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like with like the bank slalom world, especially, like you definitely remember faces, and you like, I don't know. Anytime I'm in that area, I definitely would hit up Kim and like all that good stuff. Yeah, I met her like probably 4 years ago. Now.
Oh, cool.
Pretty sure.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about, Sandpoint and kind of how everything's started, but you recently moved down to Tahoe, Truckee area last year. What's that experience been like for you, being down away from your family and, all your friends that you grew up with, and kind of expanding your horizons down there in the Mecca that is Tahoe?
It's great. I love it. I think that I love Sandpoint, but I definitely think it's nice for me to be out there and like meeting some more people that have like a bit more in common with me, especially like ladies. Like there's so many lady rippers out there that are so much better than me, and I just love that. 'Cause it like really gives me something to look up to and like like strive to be. Definitely
Yeah.
love it.
What's been like the coolest? Have you like met one of your favorite riders down there?
I've met a few
Okay.
like really ripping ladies. I wouldn't say like my like all-time favorites, but like Jamie Deister, I really look up to Jamie. Like Nellie's really cool. She's like a big mountain chick. And where's Claire? They're all really cool ladies and like just so good at snowboarding.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So down there, you're kind of focused on the competition aspect of everything. That's where it kind of like, was that the driving force to move down there as well, to kind of be in the scene and start that as your career?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, and I also really wanted to dive into like some more slope stuff as well, just like get better at that. And
Okay.
Schwitzer is great, but I definitely think like there's more opportunity in like more Woodward parks and like stuff like that. But definitely help for competition too, location wise. Like I saved so much money because I would have to be in Salt Lake. Like I think I had to be in Salt Lake like three or four times this last season, so
Okay.
it was just a lot closer and it made more sense.
Yeah, a quick trip across Nevada real quick, so
Yeah.
that's not bad. Let's talk about, so you're talking about like the slope aspect and the parks down there. Is the I would say like the progression and focus in the parks outside of Schweitzer is a little bit more, it's on a different kind of level. I was chatting with one of our riders, Devontae Johns, and he's out of Reno, so he's been in Tahoe for many, many years, and he's a park guy. And he was kind of talking about all the parks. Did you get to ride much at North Star at all?
No, I really
Oh,
wish I
okay.
did. It's just like I didn't have the Epic Pass, and like North Star is crazy though. Like all my roommates, like a lot of them do slope and stuff, so they are over there a lot because they have the Epic and like stuff like that. But there's also like Kingville. Kingville's like
Yeah.
a cheap little area. Like it's awesome though. It's so fun. Like I wish I would have spent a little bit more time over there. I didn't get to spend as much time as I wanted to, but
I've seen
Yeah.
videos out of Kingville. One of our team riders, Nate House. Have you ever heard of Nate House before?
I've heard the name.
Okay, so he's like the king of Kingville. Like he's had a couple viral clips come out of there the last couple springs.
Yeah.
And he's just a crazy rail rider. Like won X Games street style and Do Tour street style a couple years ago. So that's sick. Yeah, dude. So what about the backcountry? Do you have a desire to get into the backcountry?
Definitely. Like that's always been my like what brings me to snowboarding a lot more is like the free ride, the backcountry. Like I
Okay.
love it out there. It's definitely like a little bit scarier getting into it. Like I've taken like some Avi courses and stuff like that, but like it's a wild world out there, and you have to be very aware of like what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. You got to have all the safety precautions. Have you taken any Abbey courses? Do you have any of the gear ready yet?
Yeah, like I have like a split board, I have all that good stuff, and then I don't have like, I really want to get an airbag.
Okay.
Because those are pretty cool, but yeah, I have all the stuff, all the gear. Taken a couple courses through IPAC up here. Nothing like none of the professional courses, but definitely starting to look into those a little bit more just because it's a little bit scary.
Definitely. Do you have your beacon yet? Beacon shovel probe yet?
Oh, definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So have you taken many trips out, or has it just been something that you're prepared for and your first trip is in the near future?
I've taken some trips out for sure. Like,
Okay.
I've done a lot of like side country, nothing like too crazy. No like couple day long trips quite yet, but I'm looking into it more this winter.
Definitely.
More.
I've only split boarded up the Magic Mile at Hood
Really?
up to the top of Palmer. Yeah,
That's
it used to be like a routine for me. I would get up when I worked at Hood. Gosh, I worked there for close to 10 years on ski patrol and instructing, but I used to love getting up super early, driving up, and then just like that was like my morning warm up. I would just split up the mile and up to Palmer, and whenever
awesome.
it was like a fresh like 6 to 8 inches, it was so sick, dude. It was so much fun.
No, I can imagine, especially in that area. I feel like it gets windy out there though.
It does. It always has to be like the prime, like perfect day. Like otherwise, you're just miserable.
Yeah.
It's not the terrain you want to be on when
Definitely.
it's windy.
Yes.
Okay, so talking about Tahoe, you said that you made some trips to Utah, and so through your Instagram and stuff, we see like you and your sister and your dad. You're kind of going around all the time to these free ride events. What's been like some of the sickest terrain you've ridden? Has it been in Utah?
Honestly, no. Like, I think that snowboard's great, and I definitely think that is one of my favorite places to snowboard is like Snowbird and Brighton and stuff like that. But Silverton, Colorado is by far the coolest place I think I've snowboarded.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And you've been to some pretty gnarly places. Like you've been up to BC and Alberta and places like that. You've competed in a lot of different things. You've done the LBS, correct?
Yes.
The legendary bank slalom. Okay, let's dive a little bit into this bank slalom life, because I kind of want to know like how your journey has been. We all know up here we have the Dougie Fresh, which is a big one, and then others have kind of sprouted from that, like the Snow Ghost, and now Mount Spokane has a nice bank slalom. But what's been like the scene for you, and like you've gotten the invite to the Dirksen and to the LBS. What's the bank slalom scene been like for you?
It's been pretty wild. Like, it's weird to think, like, I didn't really get the chance to do a lot last year, which was definitely kind of a bummer because I've been doing them for, like, the last, like, 7 years now, I think. And, like, it's been such a big, like, part of my life. And I don't know. It's definitely, like, a small, tight-knit community. Everyone's super supportive. Like, it's pretty wild. It's definitely like, and a lot of people like look past it, like, oh, you're just like turning for fun. But in reality, like, it's not just that. It's like a community of people getting together and like having fun. I like it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Dirksen Derby. How's that been? Was your first experience down at Mount Bachelor the Dirksen Derby?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes. No, the Dirksen's crazy. I love it. It's cool to see like a lot of the pros getting out there and doing it. Same with Baker. Baker's pretty wild. That one's scary. That one's really scary because like it's a lot more serious. Because usually like at a bank slalom, people are like joking around, like drinking, but like everybody's very serious for Baker.
Yeah, definitely. It is the pinnacle of the bank slalom. It was a bummer that they couldn't get it done this year. It's the first time in so long that it hasn't been able to go down. So I grew up in Southern Oregon, so Bachelor is like near and dear to my heart and stuff. Talk about like, did you get to kind of get? So Dirksen Derby. It's an early season, the first bank slalom of the season. That's kind of what it's known for. What's it been like, right around Batchy? Because I always loved Bachelor because Bachelor, the stigma of Bachelor is it's flat, but it's like a big skate park, like, and if you can control your edges and speed, like you can ride it like a skate park every day. Like, so has it been like kind of cool being at Bachelor, and what have the conditions been like for you the last couple times you've been down there?
I really like Bachelor. I definitely feel like it does feel like a giant skate park, kind of in a way. And I really like, one of my favorite parts of snowboarding is like matching transition. So it's like one of those, I don't know. Bachelor holds a special place in my heart. But yeah, the weather's been kind of brutal though. Like the last, like especially the last year that we were there, like you couldn't really go off piste much. Like it was because it was right before this like ice storm type thing. Because you know how Schwitzer has like it like rains then it hardens. It kind of like did that. But a couple years before, we did have like a couple like POW days over there. It was cool. Like POW days at Bachelor are crazy, but when it's like icy like that, it gets pretty gross.
Pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
So when you were kind of picking and choosing where you wanted to go after when you were going to leave Sandpoint, was it like Tahoe, I'm going to Tahoe, or did you kind of be like, ooh, Salt Lake might be cool, or maybe Bend might be cool? Did you have a decision to make, or was it like Tahoe, it's it?
Well, honestly, I was like going to move to Mount Baker area, like up
Okay.
until like the last couple months, just because like I always loved Baker, and like I did look into moving to Bend, but it was just a little bit pricey. But then this opportunity popped up in Tahoe, and I always wanted to go to Tahoe. I just was like, oh, I'll never probably make it to Tahoe because it's so expensive, but I found like an affordable opportunity to go out there, and I was like I jumped on it just because I've always like had a special like. I've never really, like, I've only been to Tahoe, like, one time before, and it was for Rally for Rocker, and there's another one out there, like, another bank slalom out there, but, Methodology, I did that one, too.
Methodology, okay.
Yeah, so it definitely, like, I was kind of drawn to it a little bit, but I just never thought it would be an option, and then it presented itself, so.
Sick.
Yeah.
And did you come home for the entire summer? This last summer, or?
Yeah, so
Okay.
for the majority of the summer, I'm just kind of saving up money because I'm
Sure.
not sure if I'm going to be coming back over the next couple summers, just because I found like a long-term thing, because as of right now, or like the last year, it was only like a winter thing, and then like I come back up here, make money, but yeah, so.
Do you have plans to like kind of travel to some places like New Zealand and Australia and South America to kind of ride during the summers coming up here?
That was the plan this year, but then
Okay.
I broke my back. So
Dang.
So we were gonna go to Chile
Okay.
for comps and stuff because a lot of my friends ended up doing that this year. But I don't know. I think it was probably a good thing too, just to like stay back and save up some more. I don't know. The whole back thing kind of set me off course a little, but we're back. I'm excited.
Yeah, at least it wasn't like a crazy injury. 6 weeks, not too bad. Still just not fun, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
It's definitely like one of those things though, like getting injured as an adult is definitely different than as a kid. 'Cause
Right.
You're like definitely have to like focus on like making money, making rent and all that stuff.
yeah, and
but-
getting yourself. I mean, the more you like, the older you get, the harder it is to like come back, even from like.
Yeah.
Gosh, man, I like, I like do yard work or something. I tweak my back. I'm like, oh, I'll be a bit better tomorrow. I'm like, nah. Like 2 weeks later, I'm still like, all right, I guess I'm better now. But
Yeah.
it's just But at least you're not. I'm 36 now, so you got some time. You'll be
I'll
good.
bounce back. I'll be okay.
Yeah, you haven't even hit the prime yet.
True. That is true.
Yeah, so we're talking about the plan is you hurt your back, but the plan is to like kind of travel around. Do you have like, was Chile like the number one spot you wanted to go to, or do you kind of have like a bucket list of places that you'd like to go ride for summer season?
Honestly, there's quite a few places. Last year, around November-ish, we ended up going to like Innsbruck and like Stubai area, which was really
Nice.
cool. I'd like to go back there at some point. That was also an option this summer too, but it's just so expensive. Snowboarding's so expensive sometimes, so it's kind of like picking and choosing. Like I want to go to some new places for sure. Like I kind of want to like go over to Australia because I have some friends who just go live down in Australia and do like ranch work and like coaching and stuff over there, which would be cool because then it's just like all year round like winter,
Yeah.
which would be awesome. But
Yeah, some of the videos lately of all the pros down at Perisher and down at Cardrona have been super sick.
yeah,
That's something that I'd like to go see at some point. But yeah, dude. So as far as like the plan, is it gonna be a lot of free ride competitions this winter for you?
As of right now, I'm definitely gonna be back in like the freeride world. I just didn't really like take it super seriously last year, and like I didn't think that it would go as far as it did. I kind of like bit off a little, like not bit off more than I could chew, but was not expecting it. Because I just kind of was going to do a couple for fun, gain some points, and then kind of like move on and like just kind of continue to train and like do all that fun stuff. Just like riding more, I guess.
Yeah.
But definitely gonna I wasn't trying to make it on tour last year, and I somehow I ranked like 4th in the US, which is crazy. Like I never thought that would happen. But so this year I'm kind of like looking to get on tour if that comes about, and then hopefully some filming opportunities will come about as well. But yeah,
maybe some backcountry filming.
Yes,
get into it. Yeah,
the dream.
Yeah, definitely. We that's something that I have like really wanted to start getting into through the podcast, and then I've just kind of started to really try and go film with some of the younger homies and some of the people that you're looking to just get out and stack some clips. Speaking of clips, what's so are you much into like into the YouTube universe and snowboarding and stuff? Do you consume much of that stuff, or is it like an Instagram thing for you?
It's mostly just an Instagram thing. I think that the YouTube thing's awesome. I just don't I already don't love having to post clips and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's hard for me to get into the YouTube thing, but it'd be fun. I think it's fun when people make it as a joke and kind of show them having fun with their friends or parts and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously snowboard movies are really cool, but I definitely think that the influencer lifestyle is not quite for me. I think it's cool though. It's really cool showing people how you're doing it, but I like the aspect of personal bubble and space, I guess.
Yeah. But do you currently have sponsors right now?
I'm on the flow team for a couple brands.
Okay.
But
and is there do they like to see you post every this many times a week or so? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so kind of just once a month. It's nothing too crazy.
Not bad.
I'm with Nitro and L1 Premium Goods, or an outerwear brand.
Oh, I know it well. Shout out to Niche.
Yes.
Niche loves him some L1 gear.
Yeah, I like L1. I really like L1. I like how it fits. It's definitely one of my favorite outerwear brands by far.
Definitely. Well, that's cool. Yeah, we Mountain Vibes, we always, whenever we would bring on a rider or a rep, we'd always be there isn't a requirement or anything. We just like to see you mention us if you're going to be posting and stuff like that every so often and stuff. So it's usually stays pretty lax, in my opinion, which is kind of how everything goes in the snowboarding world, right? Everyone's pretty chill. It's not oh man, you gotta I need to see more out of you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm also sponsored by the board shop and their 7B board shop.
7B, yeah.
Yeah, and they're super chill. They're always they're pushing me to post a little bit more, but they're it's always super chill.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so with 7B, is that something where they kind of float you gear and stuff like that, or is it more of just a mutual we post and we help you guys out, and then I don't know.
I mean, yeah, they're kind of floating me gear and just merchandise, 7B stuff. And
nice.
Yeah, it's mostly just and just reposting my stuff, and I repost their stuff, kind of. It's just
it help everybody out. Yeah, for
exactly.
sure. So let's talk a little bit about some funny stories from the road not back in the day, but back maybe a couple years ago, where you and your sister and your dad, I'm assuming you guys used to take long road trips all together for these competitions and stuff. Do you have any funny stories? You have anything that comes to mind of you and Maddie and your dad messing around?
Honestly, I'd say Maddie and I butt heads. We love each other, but we butt heads. When we're in in an enclosed space, it's full on warfare a lot of the times. But nothing that super comes to mind. There was one time when we were way younger, I know that she didn't, but we got into this huge fight because I thought she loosened my bindings right before a race.
Oh, okay.
Just to mess with me, but I don't think she actually did it. I think that I just was totally just went aggro. But yeah, no, we definitely butt heads.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like my kids. My kids, they're toddlers right now, but
Yeah, it
my
only
daughter
gets...
doesn't even want my son to like look at her in the car. She'd be like,
I know, that was basically Maddie and I's relationship. Like now we're like a lot better because like we spent some time apart. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and you grow up, you mature and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about like what the influence your dad has had on you as well, because Adam Hall, shout out, dude, love that guy's sick. And is there anything that he's like kind of taught you in your life where you've kind of taken that and reflected back on and be like, oh man, like I'm glad my dad taught me this, and I wouldn't be where I am today without him if I didn't know this stuff?
I definitely think that he taught me how to like take opportunities when they're given to you, like no matter what. Like he's always pushed me to like move out and like go do like everything that I can to like pursue what I want to do, kind of.
Yeah.
And that just happened to be snowboarding, which was, it definitely like, I definitely wouldn't be where I'm at without my dad.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know too much about your dad, but what does your dad do for work?
He actually runs a drywall business.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, so he does like drywalling, and then he has like all these like other stuff, like side gig stuff that he does. Like,
Okay.
He does the stuff he volunteers for the skate park. He volunteers for like the hockey league, like all
Nice.
this stuff. Very much in the community.
In the community,
Yes.
definitely. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome to hear. Gosh, dude, some of the stories of the Red Bull athletes are crazy, of like how they just get like so well funded and stuff and have an unlimited budget.
And like they have like rehab facilities for their athletes,
Yeah.
which would be awesome. Like that'd
Right.
be crazy.
Yeah, that'd be super sick. Let's talk a little. Okay, so let's talk some like Schwitzer favorites.
Okay.
Little rapid fire Schwitzer favorites. Okay, favorite spot to eat at Schwitzer.
Powder Hound.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's go. Mine too. Well, I also, I haven't eaten too much of the food at Poochie's.
Yeah.
And Poochie's, I guess you would say, is like kind of more of like the older crowd and stuff, because it's just a pub. But man, Aaron and the homies at Poochie's, they're so
Yeah.
sick. If you had to pick, what would be like, and you can include multiple runs in this, but what's like your like favorite run at Schweitzer if you could go like top to bottom anywhere? Could you pick one?
Wayne's Woods or
Wayne's Woods.
Poochie's. I
Okay.
love both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Nice. And then let's say, favorite chair to ride at Schweitzer.
I'd say Colburn, probably, just because of like the location, or the T-bar. I like the T-bar. I like the crew at the T-bar. I don't know if
Yeah.
that counts as a chair, but
You could go up
Yeah.
Colburn, ride over, hit the T-bar, make
Yeah.
that circle.
yeah. And that crew is awesome over there. They're always like, they're hilarious.
Yeah,
Always
definitely.
having a good time.
Well, yeah, I mean, at first it was Jake,
Yeah.
T-bar Jake, and now it's T-bar Steph.
And in Stray Dog, he's
Yep, Stray Dog is the
yes,
man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the dude, okay, so favorite local rider you may never heard of at Schweitzer.
Oh man, probably. I mean, Owen Miller. He's like a
Okay.
little ginger kid. He's awesome. I've
man.
watched him grow up. Or like probably like Cakes and Dash. Obviously, like I have a lot of favorites.
Yeah.
Noah, and Earth Surfer. He goes by Earth Surfer.
Yep, Earth
Yeah.
Surfer, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, the boys. Earth Surfer, love the fishing content in the summers too.
Yes,
when he goes
definitely.
steelheading and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
But yeah, and then I guess, what could I ask you that's something, Okay, how about this? There's lots of events at Schweitzer throughout the year. Is there an event that's like your favorite that you've gone to? It can be in the summer or the winter.
I don't know. I would say, well, definitely the Snow Ghost Bank Slalom. That's kind of like my favorite, just because I'm kind of biased though, just because like I like bank slaloms and like that stuff. Like, I feel like a lot of their events are kind of geared towards skiers,
Yeah.
so it's kind of hard. But the slalom's cool, just because it's like an all snowboard event,
all
kind
board,
of.
yeah.
Well, mostly they have to involve the skiers, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. I always have been kind of like, why do we have to involve them? They don't involve us in any of their stuff.
I know, like when I was younger, like I don't remember who I did this with, but all my friends skied, so we'd go like hit the gates, kind
Yeah.
of, but they hated me being in there just because like apparently like I don't know, the one edge kind of messes with things, but I don't know.
I guess yeah, it was something that Ren kind of talked about in his episode when back in the day, like the skiers up here, he would remember like riding up the chair at Silver or wherever, and it was a POW day, and they do their little lines, right? You know, they just farm
Yeah.
the POW, right? And it's just so lame, and it's like has no like vision or anything, and we're more like, dude, let's go hit like this like bump over here, or like this cliff or something, and like just create flow. And it's funny, like the difference in like ideologies between skiers and snowboarders.
Yeah, I definitely realized that, like, because I just always, like, had to kind of fend for myself with the whole, like, skiing thing, because, like, I would have, like, all of my friends skied. Like, I didn't really have a lot of snowboard friends my age, but it was, like, I was, like, more, like, looking at the lines, and they were just going straight through the moguls, and I, like, on a snowboard, you can't really go straight through the moguls.
No.
Like, you have to, like, actually, like, think about, like, your line choice and, like, the technical side of things. But, yeah, it's definitely a different world.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. So let's dive into kind of what's going on, this season for you. You're heading back down to Tahoe. But what is like kind of like, do you have like a set thing that you're going to be doing? Are you starting off with the Dirksen again this year, and are you going to be back in the bank slaloms, and like kind of what's the season looking like?
So far I would say like just definitely doing the Dirksen for
Okay.
sure. I'm going to be back into like the free ride stuff for sure. And I don't know, nothing like too out of the ordinary. Like there is like some possibilities for filming, but I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not going to talk about it. But
Okay.
yeah, like nothing super crazy, kind of same as last year. Mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Trying to just get back to the
Yeah.
peak after
Yes.
the back injury, right?
Yeah.
Be ready to shred.
Yeah, no, and I'm definitely looking on to like getting on tour too this year. Like, I think that's the main difference between this year and last year is like last year I like did not want to go on tour, and I also like I didn't even want to do qualifiers, but I kind of got talked into it. But yeah, just kind of pursuing that.
Do you have like a dream competition that you want to get to at some point?
Oh, natural selection.
Oh, okay, that's what
That
I was
one's
thinking that in my head.
Yeah, no, that's always the goal. I gotta step up the game a little bit beforehand, but they have like this new like, well, I don't know what it's called, competition called it's something new, but they're having like a bunch of chicks get together and they're like competing to get into natural selection. One of my like someone that I competed with like earlier down the line, who did juniors with me,
Okay.
she made it in, so it'd be cool to get an invite to that. I'm not sure how that works though. It's kind of newer. So
Let's get you an invite to the Kings and Queens of Corbetts too.
that'd be crazy.
That'd be sick.
That would be really cool. That one kind of scares me a little bit, but it'd be fun to.
Isn't
fun
that
to compete
gnarly?
in.
That
It's gnarly.
That's insane.
Yeah, I had a friend, Audrey Hebert. She
Okay.
front flipped into it and broke her. I don't remember what she broke, but she broke something.
Dang, dude.
It's gnarly. It's cool though. It's cool to see like skiers and snowboarders getting together like that.
Yeah, super awesome.
Yeah.
I remember I had somebody I knew, don't like not know personally, but know of Big Mountain Marissa.
Oh yeah.
Out of Bend, yeah. I remember watching her go down that thing a couple years ago, and I was like, dang,
Yeah.
that thing is so massive,
Yes.
man. But yeah, we're talking about like kind of like the women's scene. The women's scene is like super sick right now. Whether you go from like Mia Brooks just slaying every single buddy in the men's and women's competition, like each of her 3 runs on slopestyle at X Games are probably the 3 most favorite runs I've ever like witnessed on a snowboard. Just
Yeah.
like the style and the laziness and just how fucking sick she is. To like the new competitions coming out. Did you attend that, I can't remember what it was called, but it was a women's competition in Nelson last spring, and it was an invite from, gosh, I can't remember, but it was basically like a free ride comp / like kind of natural selection for women's up at Whitewater. Did you hear about that?
I did hear about that.
Okay.
I had a bunch of friends like Mia Jones and like
Okay.
Ellery Manning and like some of the girls my age. It was kind of more of like a last minute thing
Yeah.
that they put together at the beginning of the year. It was kind of like it definitely like I hope to get an invite. I like emailed the crew and I was kind of like digging in there a little bit, but it's really hard when you're like kind of newer to like the scene and stuff, and especially from Sandpoint, Idaho. And Ellery's like parents, like all of their like all my friends who went, like kind of like their parents are kind of in the industry and like stuff like that. So it's kind of like you got to know the right people to get an invite.
Sure, yeah.
But definitely would be interested in doing that one.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
sure.
I remember I was talking to Steph before, and I was like, "What are you doing this weekend?" He was like, "I'm going to Whitewater and Nelson, dude." And I'm like, "Oh, what are you gonna do up there?" He's like, "I'm gonna go like shred and like hang out with all these sick like lady riders, you know, like and watch this competition. It looks awesome."
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome to hear. Like, I just kind of want to hear you speak on like what you've seen over the last few seasons and how it's kind of evolved for the lady riders out there and stuff. You know, has it been, because you know it's like kind of in all aspects of life, like women have always kind of been like, oh, you guys aren't allowed to hang out with us, you guys can't hack it, but that's just hasn't been true. And now I feel like the opportunities have kind of started to come out more for you guys.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like as like when I was growing up, like I never really, I don't know, I definitely like I got that treatment from some people, but like most of the people, like the big dogs in the industry and like the board shop, they were always like super supportive of like Madison and I. Like it's definitely like I think it depends on the woman, like every person's experience is different, but
Yeah.
I've usually I have a pretty, it's like people treat me the same and I like that. Like definitely in Sandpoint, like it's a little bit different. Like you get so like every so often you get like the guy who's like trying to teach you how to do things that you already know how to do and like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. But I think like the industry is doing great with that, and there's a lot more opportunities opening up, and it's like making, I think the end goal is just like making the snowboard world for women like bigger, because we just
Yeah.
don't have like a huge group of girls like doing it, you know. Like we have like, I mean, you even see it at Schwitzer, like there's so many little groms that are like girls coming up. It's crazy to see, like they have a whole crew, like they all hang out, like that's so cool to me, and it's just exciting.
Yeah, it's super sick to see. And you know, and the level of the slope style has just gotten out of control. You know what, so Jamie Anderson recently just, you know, had her daughter, took the season off. Dude, I want to see X Games slope style, Jamie, Zoe, and Mia like going at it, dude.
I know, and it's crazy because Mia was dominating this year, but Zoe was out on like an injury or
Yeah.
something like that. So I'd love to see like, especially the two of them like hit, like butt heads a little bit,
Right.
just because like, and I don't know, that entire industry right now is just insane.
Because they both have all the tricks in the bag. And
Yeah.
but I'm just like, what if Jamie just comes back and just lays
Yeah.
it down for another goal? That'd be sick.
After having a kid too, that'd be crazy.
I
Like,
know. I saw that clip of her up at Woodward Copper. I think it was a few weeks ago, and it was like the first time she had ever like really posted a snowboard clip since having her, and I was like, oh, she's back, dude.
I kind of like forgot about her for a minute just because she
Right.
was like out with the kid and like doing her mom thing. I just didn't think she was going to be competing again, but it's really cool to see that she's still pursuing it.
Yeah, and the stees and the duels and stuff.
Yeah,
Just like
definitely.
open vest.
Yeah, I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, that was something else when like that slope style at X Games this year. You know, we had Kokomo rocking that sick jacket.
I saw that. I remember that. That was crazy.
And
That
then
was
Mia with the all black. I was just like, yes, like this is so cool. This is like, it feels like the evolution is coming back to like the roots, you know, like with the baggy pants and everyone having their like own specific style and just kind of be wilding out there, you know.
Yeah, no, I think it's awesome. It's cool to see, like, I feel like I was a little bit afraid that snowboarding, like, since it's going to be, like, it's in the Olympics now and all that stuff, like, I was afraid that the culture would leave, but I think it's just, like, it's still there. Still
Yeah.
definitely there.
Yeah. Speaking of Olympics, like the break dancing at the Olympics, you catch that?
Oh, yeah, that was wild.
That was so weird.
I don't remember, like, there was, like, one chick in particular that, like, I hate to say it, but she just...
Oh, the
it was-
Brazil chick,
well,
right?
Yes, yeah. That was wild. That was just insane.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's what we're doing now
Yeah.
to be an Olympian.
Yeah, no, I mean, they were having the time of their lives, it seemed like, though.
Oh,
Especially
yeah.
the Brazilian chick. Like, she looked like she was having fun.
She was having fun for sure. sure. Yeah, dude. So, this summer has been fun for you. You got hurt at Solstice and stuff, but you've been, as soon as you've been doing a lot of skating and stuff like that. And so we were talking a little bit before, the cameras came on. You're planning on hitting the CDA skate park after this, right? Going to meeting up with some homies. So, let's talk setups. Okay, talk your board setup. Okay, what board you rocking, and what's the ankles looking like for you?
Okay. So I'm riding the 146 Nitro Karma. I don't know. I also ride the Optisim for like park stuff, but this is like my main like free ride board. And mostly, I think the angles, I think it's like +7, -6.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
It's pretty like chill angles, normal.
Forward lean?
Forward lean, I don't know. I just kind of mess around with it
Yeah.
I don't know the numbers on that one, but just like whenever I'm riding park, I'll do like, I won't use the forward lean, but then whenever I'm doing free ride, I'll use the forward lean.
Okay.
Just kind of
Switch
like
it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Depending on what we're riding that day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I remember I was at Timberline one time, and my boss was trying to train me for my level 2, and my forward lean was like kind of not even set, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, your forward lean let's see how that goes. And he was like, let me tell you this, you've been driving like a Dodge Neon. When we do this forward lean all the way up, it's gonna be like you're on a Ferrari. Like the response is just gonna get like crazy. So, yeah, and that's something that you don't want on rails usually.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
So smart, like good on you for knowing that. Yeah. So something else I have been trying to ask each guest is, so like, what's like your like morning routine looking like? You're 19, you're young, but are you into yoga much? You have to have your coffee in the morning. Like, what's like a comp day morning routine looking like for Emma?
Oh, so for comp days, it's definitely, I always stretch no matter what. Like every day I try to stretch.
Okay.
Kind of like meditate a little. Like that sounds goofy, but like it definitely helps. And like listening to music, like I kind of get into my own little world with my music, which is good. Kind of try to like, and I also like talking to people and like having fun, like making sure that like I'm kind of, I don't know, in a good mindset. Like I have to be having fun to do good, which is kind of a weird one, but
Okay.
like, yeah, I don't know.
What are we slapping in the headphones?
Oh, I don't know. A lot of punk, I'd say. That
Okay.
sounds goofy, but lots of punk.
Punk, like what? Let's talk. What kind of bands we got?
Oh man, oh gosh, I don't know if I could say any off the top of my head. I'm kind of spacing it right now. I'm a little nervous too. Like I feel like people are weird about music.
Oh, come on. I mean, music. I have a wide variety. I listen to anything, dude. Like,
Okay.
if you could have if there was a punk song that you would like go to, what would it be?
Oh, definitely like Bro Hyman. That one's like
Okay.
just like a Smash Life thing. That's like a bank song that I definitely like.
Okay.
It brings back good memories. I also listen to like a lot of girl rock too, like before comps and stuff like that. Just
Okay.
things that get you like hyped.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's like that deep bass,
Yes.
get slapping.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's gosh, man, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this one, but if I could pick one song to drop in on, it would probably be "Break Stuff" by Limp Bizkit.
Oh yeah.
Okay, have you ever heard that?
I've heard that one. I like
Okay.
that one personally. But
Yeah, me and my wife bond over that. She was like, "Oh, that's your song? That was my song," because she played college and soccer in college, and she was like, "Yeah, before." Our teammates would always make fun of us, me and my best friend, because we were sitting in the back of the bus and we would not get off the bus.
Yeah.
And they were like, "What are you guys doing?" I was like, "Just wait, okay? Like, we'll get off the bus when it's time in the song."
Yeah. No, exactly.
When it drops.
That's exactly how I feel. I feel like mine is like "Got the Time" by Anthrax. I don't know why. I
Okay.
just that one really like
I mean, it's a good one.
gives me very pumped. So
So did
Yeah.
you? Okay, so here's a question: did you listen to Anthrax before Mia Brooks kind of brought it to the light in snowboarding a little bit? Because I honestly didn't know who had heard of Anthrax before, but as soon as like I knew that's what she was bumping, and I heard it on her bomb hole. I was like, okay, Anthrax, let's see what this is all about.
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of like, I listened to it before a little bit, but I definitely like, I started to like get more into it when she kind of started talking about it, because I kind of like, it's one of those bands you kind of like overlook sometimes, and then like she kind of like brought it into light, and I don't know, I realized like other people listen to it. I'm like, oh, so yeah.
Yeah, so you growing up and stuff. We have we have a lot of good live music in our area. Well, all across the country, but in the Northwest too. We got the Gorge nearby, and then we also have the festival at Sandpoint. Have you been in any like big time concerts that you have like looked back on and been like, oh, that was sick?
Dude, I've always like, I haven't gone to like, anything like super crazy. There's one I went to in Spokane. I don't remember the name of the band off the top of my head, but it was really good.
Nice.
I've never been like I've never gotten to go to a lot of concerts, but like I've definitely in my future, like I really want to kind of dive into that.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it was tough during the time where you were like kind of in the middle of your like high school career and stuff. It was COVID, and so concerts weren't a thing.
Yeah,
during
exactly.
that time.
So I kind of got like messed with. Like I'd never really got the opportunity to go do that stuff. But I am going to one in Salt Lake with some buddies that go to college over there. The band sounds bad, but it's called Destroy Boys. It's like a really good girl band, but I'm excited for that one.
That'll be sick.
Yeah.
I was talking with in our last episode, Casey Willax. His brother Dana is actually the lead singer of a band called Kingdom of Giants.
Oh.
And which is like, if you check it out sometime, might be your vibe, but it's like heavy metal.
Okay.
Like, whoa, like.
I think that's awesome.
But that's it's really cool. It's like he's like, the voice is like, oh my God, what is this? But he's like talking about catching waves, surfing, skating, like riding, like doing all this stuff in life. So it's a pretty cool band to listen to, awesome. Definitely. Okay, cool. So like more in routine music. What else is there? Like, is there anything else that you kind of have to have in the morning? Like we were talking about caffeine. You pop in an energy drink before you're dropping in.
Yeah, no, and like smelling salts, like anything that can get me like super pumped. Like,
okay.
Yeah, so
let's go. You got an experience coming up tomorrow then, right?
Oh yeah.
With the so shout out to the Wild Cans podcast and the boys, but you'll be popping some salts with those boys.
Oh really? I wasn't aware of that, so I'm excited that I know.
Okay, little heads up for you.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you.
But yeah, that's their thing. That's definitely like, and then shout out to the Bomb Hole for starting that whole thing. It's just like that. It does get the juices going. That's for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Definitely. So I want to get into a little bit of like some like of your opinion on certain subjects in snowboarding, like hot takes, rapid fire, and so we talked about your go-to song. Okay, let's go with like so growing up, your 3 favorite riders of all time, male or female.
Okay, so I'd probably say Marie Francois.
Okay.
Jess Camira. And is it okay if they're all females?
Oh, of course.
Okay. Definitely Jamie Anderson.
Okay.
She's kind of or Elena Height too. That's
Elena,
yeah.
Yeah. Heck yeah. And shout out to Jessica Murray, dude.
Yeah.
Uninvited.
Absolute badass. I think that's like crazy.
Dude, you should I want to go down if it's gonna happen again next year. That would be so sick. I want to go check that out. And hopefully, I'm hoping like maybe one day, you'll get into that.
That would be awesome. I've never been like a super street type rider, but I'd love to get into it like that. But those girls are ripping. It's insane. I know Callie Carlson actually got to compete in that.
Yeah.
Too. So.
Yeah. A former Mountain Vibes rider who is a pretty big time park crew person, Audrey Doan. Okay. She was there, and of course, all the big timers there.
Yeah.
It was so sick to see. What's been like what's been the greatest experience for you in your snowboarding career so far, and your worst experience that you've had?
Probably, I think competing at Silverton or getting to compete in like Baker was definitely probably the best experience. Silverton was just a crazy experience just because I don't know, I got to go heli skiing in Colorado, and like
Oh,
it was my
okay.
birthday. It was like the best POW I've like rode like all season basically, except for yeah, it was insane. Like it
I've
was
heard
really good.
Silverton. Yeah, like Silverton is sick.
It was amazing. It was like by far like some of the coolest terrain, and like I hit like the biggest cliff I think I've ever hit before in competition, and it went well. So
There you
like
go.
I just like kind of unexpectedly hit it. Like I hit it on purpose, but I didn't realize how big it was gonna be because like it was only visual inspection into like the chute that we were going into. So it was like a like probably like a 30-foot cliff into like a couloir kind of dealio. It
Yeah.
was cool. It was really fun, and I hit it a little bit fast, so it definitely went a lot bigger than expected. But it was cool. Like definitely best experience I think so far.
Okay.
But I think there's gonna be a lot more
Yeah.
to come. So, and then worst experience probably would be I don't know, either probably breaking my back so
Yeah.
far, or collarbone, or just breaking bones. That kind of
Yeah.
sucks. But
Yeah. Always.
yeah, like with the broken back thing too, it particularly was bad just because I had to like ride down, and like nobody knew that I broke my back. I didn't really know that I broke my back. It was kind of funny at first because I like, you know, when you like break a rib and you like knock the wind out of yourself kind
Yeah.
of. I sounded like that, and I was kind of like curl up in a ball, and I just sounded really funny, so I was like laughing. So it sounded hilarious, but then like it started to like hurt a bit more, and then like a bunch of my like I couldn't really move, and I was like, oh, like maybe I did something more than knock the wind out of myself. And it, like I started to feel like, you know, when you break a bone and you have that particular feeling. I was like, oh no. And I
Yeah.
knew something like deep down was wrong, but I didn't want to tell anyone. So I just kind of like, a couple of my friends came down, and they were like checking in on me, and we were like laughing, and then like it started to like get a bit more painful. And as time went on, like more people came down and were like, oh, yo, like, are you okay? And I just like, I didn't want to tell anyone I wasn't okay. So I like rode down, and like every bump was just like, it hurt so bad. But like it was definitely a little bit scarier. But those things happen. It's just part of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So you said you had to ride down from that. Were you able to like meet ski patrol somewhere, or did you just ride all the way down to the lodge?
I trucked through. I rode all the way
Dang.
down. Just because we didn't know, like, because I knew that, like, I thought, like, maybe I dislocated a vertebrae or something weird like that, because it just felt like something was out of place. But, lo and behold, it was, like, a little tiny fragment of, like, my T9 kind of fell off, not, or just, like, broke off, kind of. And it was kind of floating around, and that's what kind of gave it that little thing. And, like, the people that was with, like, they all handled it very well, like, like I like bent over and showed them my back because I was like, is there like something wrong with it? And they were like, no, but like they told me like later down the line, like a couple weeks ago, they told me there was like a bone like sticking out,
Oh.
kind of. And like because I had to make it back to Sandpoint, so I kind of like my friend drove me home too, like, so I had to do that whole car ride like with
Oh
the
my
broken back.
goodness.
It definitely was not ideal, but I made it, and I survived that situation.
So for those who don't know, Emma broke her back at Illumination Rock. And Illumination Rock is up high on Mount Hood, and it is gnarly to get down off that section, speaking from experience, and to do it with a broken back and then drive all the way back to Idaho. It's just like, props, dude. Like, that must have been some pain, man. Like, jeez.
It was crazy. It was a weird, like, I kind of like told myself that it wasn't broken, and just like trying to make it back to Sandpoint, I just kind of like tricked myself into thinking like, oh, it's gonna be fine, everything's fine. And then like a couple days later, I was supposed to like fly to Wisconsin, so I did that too. Like I knew my
Oh,
back was
man.
broken, but like, all my family was in Wisconsin, so I figured like I have a problem, like I don't like sitting in place for long periods of time, so I just figured it'd be better to just go to Wisconsin with a broken back than stay home and like
Yeah.
have the temptation to go do things.
Where's your family at from Wisconsin?
Hayward, Wisconsin.
Okay.
It's like northern Wisconsin.
My mom's side of the family, so she has 8 brothers and sisters.
Oh, wow.
And so I have a large family in Iowa. So not too far or anything,
Yeah.
but Midwest summer vibes.
Yeah.
Super humid and hot usually.
Yeah, it was really hot while we were over there.
Yeah, you
Like,
literally like if it's like, if the humidity's going, you literally will walk outside and your face will just start pouring sweat.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's so insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. So for you, Emma, what would be like a perfect day of riding for you? Where would you be and who'd you be with?
Honestly, I think, like, as of right now, like, I definitely think it's probably going to change over time, but Schwitzer with, like, my, like, homies from, like, that I grew up with, like, Lydia, Nelson, and, like, Grace, Yancey, and probably Izzy Apple, like, all of those gals, like, that is, like, my ideal, like, on a POW day, like, a really good POW day, because Schwitzer, like, rarely gets POW days, like, great ones, and when it happens, it's, like, it's firing, there's not a lot of people, lift lines aren't crazy, or even, like, I would say, like, Lost Trails with some homies. Like, Lost Trails is, like, a beautiful, like, little resort in Montana. It's, like, super small. It's only open 3 days a week. It's, like,
Okay.
a Mon Pa area. Like, I had, like, an experience like that, like, 2 years ago on my birthday. It was, like, a POW day. For some reason, every year on my birthday, it's a POW day, but
That's lucky.
it's crazy.
I
I don't
like
know
it.
how it works, but, yeah, just a POW day with the homies somewhere.
There you go.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. What would be a trend in snowboarding that you do not like seeing?
I don't know. I don't like tight pants. I really don't
No.
like tight pants. I have a lot of negative. I don't know. Like, I don't like the posy stance. That kind of bugs me. I really dislike, I don't know.
Like the hard boot in it.
Yes.
Not
like,
a big fan of it.
Stuff like that. And then, oh my goodness. Oh, the super wide stance, too. I cannot stand the super wide stance. Or the step-on bindings, too. Those bug me a
The
little
Shaun
bit.
White cowboy.
Yes.
The clues of the world.
Yeah.
I call them the horse stirrups.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
And the tight pants. Let's go back to that. I'm like, I don't like you said, like, you don't understand the tight pants just from a functionality standpoint. Like, we move, we're squatting and extending.
Yes.
Like, how can you do that in super tight?
That's how I
pants?
feel. And then also, like, with, like, women's outerwear, a lot of the times I feel like they make it so it's, like, shapewear. But I hate that so much. Like, I dislike, I don't know, it's so hard to, like, move around in that. Like, you can't really do much in it. But
Yeah, just want baggy pants all day, every day.
Yes.
And speaking of that, let's get into some rapid fire. Okay, pants or bibs?
Pants.
Skate or snow?
Snow.
Okay. Goggles or glasses?
Probably goggles, just because of, like, the type of snowboarding I do.
Okay. Power slush.
POW.
And then this is going to be a tough one, but if you could pick one person to go on a backcountry heli trip, who would the person be? And if it's somewhere you haven't gone yet, where would you take them?
Ooh, probably, does it have to be someone who snowboards?
Can be anybody, dead or
Okay.
alive.
Oh my gosh, that's a hard one. I would say we'll do someone who snowboards. I do like Marie Francois and definitely Alaska.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Definitely. All right, well, Emma, thank you so much for coming and joining the podcast today. I really appreciate it. If there's anybody you would like to shout out, let the people know what's going on and thank anybody. Go for it.
I'd like to thank my parents, especially my dad, and then my sister as well, and just like everyone who's always supported me, especially 7B Board Shop. They've always been homies. But yeah.
Heck yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks again for listening to all the listeners. And we are going to catch you on the next Let's Talk Snowboarding next week, coming at you with a fresh episode. Talk to you then later.
Woo.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Of course.
Did it, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.